There's background noise. Did it do it?
Yes, we're going.
Okay. It still says off air on mine. Now it says live.
Mine says live.
Okay, we are on. Okay, hello, Lexter Public. Excuse our surroundings. We are living proof of what a Beachbody coach is. Running errands, on the go, working our business, everything. So I appreciate you guys for hopping on and being patient. I have my lovely assistant, Caitlin, here, who helped me set up the actual broadcast. So thank you, Caitlin. And then we have Jayme Jeffers Thompson on with us today, who's going to share some insights about her business and just everything about creating consistency in a life of chaos and a full-time, life. So I have a couple announcements before we start, if I can remember them, because I didn't write them down. First one, we still have, how many days do we have left in the month? Like 7 days left in the month, I think, to lock in Success Club. So make sure that's one of your main focuses as you go through the next week, is locking in Success Club. Make sure you're getting your follow-ups in. Make sure you're taking advantage of the 21-Day Fix and 21-Day Fix Extreme that are both on sale right now. And really just, most importantly, knock out those follow-ups. Follow-up, follow-up, follow-up. Go on a blitz and shoot for no, right? Hey. Hush. Hey. They're stuffed in the back of the car. I look like an awesome mom. So make sure you get your follow-ups in. Don't judge me. Jamie's cracking. Second, we have our new Coach Sneak Peek just ended, so make sure you knock out your follow-ups with the potentials that you added into your sneak peek. We are starting our Lex Republic Team Cup. We're doing a private Team Cup in the Lex Republic, so make sure you check the files tab for that information. Girls, be quiet. Hi. Okay. Make sure you check the Lex Republic files for the information on the Team Cup. We're doing teams of 3. It doesn't matter what rank you are, as long as you are a coach, We're going to just do like a race for Success Club. The team that wins, $100 to each team member, and then a Lex Republic tank top is the winner. You need to go, it goes to the winner. So make sure you're registered for that. Make sure you've got your team name and participants listed in the files. And I think that's it. Okay, so I will introduce Jayme now, and I will mute and hide my chaos happening back here and stuff my face. Jayme is a 2014 elite coach. She is soon to be 11-star qualifying this week, so that's amazing. And she's a Success Club 10 legend, so she knows her stuff, and I would highly recommend listening and take notes and soak all of this information in. Just, she's a wealth of knowledge. So I will let you take over, and I will mute myself and hide myself.
Okay. Okay, all right. Thank you, Raina, very much. All right. Hi, guys. Thanks so much for having me on. I'm more than happy to share. Where I usually share most of my knowledge comes from the fact that I was working full-time while I did this business, and then I was able to leave my 3rd grade teaching job after 9 years, and I am now doing what I really want to do. I am a mom of 3. My oldest, JC, is 12. Ty is 8, and my little guy is 2, and he is a true Beachbody baby, so I'll tell you about that. My husband, Josh, is also a high school teacher, and he is a high school basketball coach. So we have a very busy life. I found Beachbody actually all the way back in 2002 after I had my daughter up at the middle of the night feeding her. I see the infomercial for Slim and 6. And I was thinking, okay, I was more of the work out of home type person because I've always struggled with weight, always. It's always been a huge thing for me in my entire life. I played sports and was very athletic, but I am a food addict, and I always turn to food. Even in happy times, I'm eating. Bad times, I'm eating a lot. So food was definitely my issue. So even being active in high school, I still dealt with weight. Going to college was horrible for me. missing being home, I turned to food. So college was rough, and then getting pregnant with my daughter after college, before I got my teaching job, I gained 70 pounds with her. So finding Slim and Six to do at home just made sense for me. Did I have any idea that was Beachbody then? No clue. There was obviously no coaching. None of that going on. It wasn't until I had my son then, in 2007, and I'm up again feeding him, and I see the infomercial for Turbo Jam. So yes, that's where I definitely found my love of fitness at home. I love Chalene Johnson. Anything she will put out, I will definitely do. So I just remember my husband saying something about, you should teach that. And me and my very major lack of self-confidence said, you're crazy. I would never do anything like that. And plus, I'm from a very small town. I mean, we don't have a lot of group fitness classes or anything like that. But there was something that kind of clicked with me on that when he said it to me. So I looked it up, and I saw that you could actually get certified in TurboKick. Did I jump right into signing up to do that? No, it took me a little while before I got there. But it also made me go on Facebook, and I was on a Turbo Jam page, and that's where I found my coach, Carolyn Wilhelm. And she started talking to me about, that there was a coaching opportunity. I had no idea. No idea. I didn't sign up as a coach until 2010, so I became a coach and a fitness instructor kind of at the same time. It was actually because I was going to Zumba classes, and the instructor stopped me after class one day and asked me if I had ever considered being a fitness instructor. And I told her it was kind of funny that she said that, because I'd actually been kind of tossing it around and thinking about it. So I went home that night and I registered to do TurboKick. Then I also did Zumba. So in the meantime of also signing up to be a coach, I had gotten TurboFire and finally found Shakeology. And it all kind of happened for me at the same time. So people in my small town were super confused. They thought coaching meant you had to be a fitness instructor. So it took a long time for me to kind of get people to understand. It was completely two different things. In the meantime, then, I was also able to move from my church where I was teaching, and I was able to move into the fitness studio right next to where I took dance classes. So I was able to have other instructors do other classes and stuff for me while I was still teaching third grade and 2 kids at that point in time. My business was very slow. We did not have challenge packs. We did not have challenge groups. There was not really anything set in stone for training. I remember getting on a call with Janelle Summers, and I remember her talking to me, and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I had no clue. I was so clueless. And a big part of that was I had zero self-esteem when it came to, I just lacked totally in the confidence game. I was just comparing myself to everything everybody else was doing and worried about what everybody else was thinking. Thank goodness I got over that. So definitely slow going. It wasn't until I earned my trip to my First Success Club trip, and that's where I met Leslie, and we actually shared a limo on the way to Atlantis. And being there and being around other top coaches and seeing that there was no difference. They were no different than me, and that I could do this too. I just needed to figure out my direction, what I needed to really start focusing on. And then I met my good friend, Corey Miller, who definitely gave me a whole new vision of what I should be doing in this business. Hearing that she didn't even have to go get a job, she was home with her 3 kids, that was just huge for me to hear that, because I wanted to do nothing more than be able to do what I really truly loved, and that was have a part in health and fitness and be home. I loved teaching, but it had changed so much for me, and I just knew that my passion for it had changed, and it was just time. It was time to put my focus in coaching. So we went to our first summit then in Vegas that year, and my fire was just totally lit after that. We came home and we found out we were pregnant. So total Beachbody baby. So I freaked at first because I was probably at the fittest I'd ever been in my life, and the thought of being pregnant again. I know I feel totally guilty, like even saying that, but being what I'd been through in my life with the weight and finding a way to finally be healthy and fit and feel good about myself and to know I was going to have to start all over again totally freaked me out. I gained 70, then 65 with my middle. So I knew, I mean, weight just comes on me, and I knew it was going to happen. But I also took that as the opportunity that I could show other moms that they could have a healthy pregnancy, that they could work out while they are pregnant, and they can eat healthy and take care of themselves, because I obviously didn't do that the first two. So I did, and I shared that journey. I gained 60, but if you look at my pictures, there was such a huge difference. You know, the way I looked pregnant, I carried it totally different, but I did drink Shakeology the whole time, and I did work out the entire time. I was teaching my fitness classes, so there's a huge difference in my lifestyle. I had him in March, and a week later, we were in Disney for our second Success Club trip. So like I said, true Beachbody baby. People asked me if I named him Carl. So yes, I was crazy. I had my mom, thank goodness for my mother. So, you know, went on that trip as well, and I just had decided, you know, this was really where it was time to start pushing. I wanted to be able to stay home. I went to Summit then that year, and that was when we wrote on postcards to put down our goal, dream for the business, and I wrote on there that I would be a full-time Beachbody coach, and I would be leaving my elementary job. Happy to say I was able to do that. So I taught one more year with Griffin as a little guy, and I hated taking him to daycare and as a little baby, and I wanted nothing more than to be able to stay home. So I kind of made that kind of my thing. You know, I want to be able to help other moms do that too, because I talk to so many moms that just, they want to stay home. They want to be home with their babies, and this is a way to be able to do it. I wish I had this when my other kids were young, so I could have stayed home with them as well. So, you know, now at this point in my business, I'm just going to kind of share the things that I did while having 3 kids, while teaching fitness classes, with a husband who lives in a high school basketball gym and is not home very often, and, you know, working full-time as a teacher. The things I started doing and putting in place so that I could hit the goal of leaving my full-time job. So it was just simply by doing all of these things very consistently, and it's not going to be anything that you have not heard already, but like Raina said she did my team call last night, you know, just hearing it from another viewpoint, it helps just hear that these were the things I did, and I was able to leave my job. So with that, I will start with my list here. If I figure out what in the world I did with everything. I know, kind of been a crazy day. Okay, so definitely number 1, you have to create your following. So I definitely did that during the pregnancy. I definitely focused on, obviously my target is moms, pregnant moms, and new moms, you know, all that. That was my definite target audience. So I was posting 3 to 5 times a day, even while I was working. So obviously I'm teaching 3rd graders. I couldn't post on Facebook while I'm teaching. That would make me a very good teacher. So I used Hootsuite. I had to keep my page going while I was at work. I even had to make sure that my administration knew why there was posts going on my page, and I was in a classroom. I had to explain all that technology stuff to them so they understood. But that saved me. That saved me with continuing to have, sorry, I have like things beeping, you know, having that continuous posting going on my page. So I followed a schedule. I was very on schedule with my posting, and I think that was a huge way of getting my following to know what kind of posts I was most likely going to have at certain times of the day, and I just stuck with that. So I did like a motivational post every morning before I went to work. I would have some type of quote or something scheduled into Hootsuite during my lunchtime, or a recipe or something, you know, that could be scheduled in. And then after school type post was usually something I was doing with my kids or my family. And then my evening post was usually something with sharing my story, doing some type of inviting, obviously those times when most people are on social media. So definitely sticking to that posting schedule. That's what I did. Other things I started doing, on my life page as well, that kind of helped me to get more, broader audience. I was doing the coach opportunity type post, your sneak peek type post, when you're training, whatever training you've got going on. I was definitely putting those types of posts out there as well, and that was totally new for me to start doing as well. Okay, number 2, you have to set definitely a monthly goal. I had, after I sat down with my husband and had him on board, and he knew I wanted to leave my job, and he knew that there were certain things that had to happen for me to be able to do that. He knew the goals of things I needed, so he definitely was very big support in helping me to get things I needed to do on a daily basis. So I made those goals. I made a daily goal for myself, I made a weekly goal for myself, and of course monthly goals. I mean, of course, as a coach, you're going to make yearly goals as well, but doing those things and just looking at that 24 hours in front of me and what goal I needed to hit just in that 24 hours made it so much easier than to look at, oh my gosh, next month I need to have this, and it just kind of made that so crazy. So just kind of break it down, start with monthly and then weekly and then what you need to do daily. That helped me to start really focusing on what I need to do. Okay, so number 3, you have to connect daily, and then you need to reconnect. So the more messages I was sending out, obviously the more I had coming in. And I had to get over that fear big time of just sending messages to people I didn't know. And it's a lot easier for me now to talk to my coaches about that, because that just tends to kind of freak them out that I'm sending messages and sending friend requests to people I didn't know. And I'm like, but how else are you going to put yourself out there in front of new faces if you're going to be continuously scared to death to talk to people? And that's what this is. It's a relationship business. You've got to talk to people. So I sent messages and followed my Power 3, every day. So a big part of that was doing it before I went to work, and I would use my lunchtime. But my big chunk of time that I worked during teaching was definitely in the evening. So after my kids had all gone to bed, my husband, of course, knew what I needed to do. So there was a big push in that last year to get, those big goals hit. So I would really use that time frame of probably 9 to 11 when I was really pushing. Yeah, sacrifices were made, and I was asleep. But, I get to sleep in now, and I can go to bed whenever I want. That's the way I look at it. So sacrifices were definitely made, but well worth it, putting in that time. So definitely connect and reconnect. So connect with new people, reconnect with your past challengers that may have slipped off. I mean, I just was always messaging. Number 4, share your story. That was the biggest, I think, pull for me. And I still have coaches that are so scared to put themselves out there, but you just have to get over that, because people are going to connect with you and see that you're a real person and you struggle and you just have crap going on, because we all have crap, and some of it we don't want to put out there yet. I get that, but yet the things that I dealt with have a lot to do with my childhood, and when I do talk about those things, I of course have to message my mother and say I'm sorry, but a lot of those things, my family, my parents getting a divorce when I was young, that's really when my food issues started. So when I share that kind of stuff, I have people that connect with me because they went through it too. But if I didn't share that, they wouldn't know that about me. They wouldn't know they have that connection with me if I just held that in and kept it to myself. And it's scary to put some of that stuff out there, but when you have people messaging you after you do share that and they thank you for doing it, that fear of all that just kind of goes away, because you are touching people's lives and they are following you and they trust you and they're going to do what you're doing. So you just kind of have to get over that whole, fear of sharing your story. And I share different parts of it at different ways, at different times. So there's a lot to my story, but you just got to write it out, and then you just take those parts and share it at different times when you feel like you are totally ready to take that leap and do it. But it is the smartest thing you could do. I just had actually a coach that finally got over it last week. And I mean, it just opened up a whole nother level for her because she stepped out and shared, you know, what Shakeology really had done for her, that she'd been on so many medications, antidepressants, everything, and she's on nothing now. Even her doctors were completely shocked that she was done with all of the stuff she had been on. And they were like, what are you doing different? And she said, I've been drinking Shakeology daily and working out. And, you know, I said, you've got to share that with people. They've got to hear that. They've got to know that that is something you dealt with. And it was scary for her to share that because obviously it was something that not most people knew about her. But it definitely opened up a huge door for her. All right, number 5, I was adding to my network constantly because I definitely had to start looking outside of my small town. I started signing, you know, a lot of coaches here locally, and obviously, you know, all these little communities around us, everybody knew each other, and I knew, okay, I've got to definitely get myself out there. So I was definitely going to friends lists that weren't connected with coaching or with other coaches, and I was adding people that way. And that definitely started bringing in a new audience for me as well. And definitely I started really kind of focusing on my like page. That helped me a lot more as well. I know that doesn't do, you know, great for everyone, but it definitely helped me out a lot. Okay, number 6, definitely following a system. Once I finally found a system that worked for me and I was able to pass that on to my team, that is definitely when things change. So you're so lucky to come in and have a team that has a system already in place for you. You just got to plug in, and you can't be scared to just jump in both feet and go for it. I mean, you've got Raina who did that, and you get to see what she has done because she did jump in with both feet. I mean, I shared with my team last night the first time that I remembered hearing about Raina from Leslie, and then, you know, meeting her at leadership the first time, and she was hitting like 50 plus Success Club points as a new coach, and I'm just like, that is amazing. I mean, just amazing that new coaches are coming in and doing that. So follow whatever system she has in place because it works. So my system definitely helped my new coaches get into that flow of knowing what's going on for sure. They always knew when our sneak peek was going to be. They always knew when our calls were going to be, when our new training started. That just makes it so much easier for your coaches. If you're plugged into that system, then you can duplicate it and show it to your team. So once I took that step in my business, then all of my coaches that were kind of waiting there for me to do something, then they all started stepping up and starting to do things as well. So I definitely had to step into that leadership role big time when I started making those big goals. All right, number 7, you have to hit Success Club every month. That's a no matter what. And when I hit that first time, then it just became, I had to hit this every month, no matter what. So I've hit 10, I don't even know how many months now it has been, but it's almost like I say 10 and then it becomes 20. I mean, it's just such a natural thing to hit Success Club now, and I don't think any different of it. I just do the same things every month, and it happens. And it's all because of the messaging going on, and I'm just constantly sharing my journey on social media. That's it. That's it. No secret to it at all. You just have to share and just be inviting. So, you know, different things that I was doing that were definitely showing other people too. That Success Club was huge, and it started to kind of motivate my team. Definitely doing those shout outs for your team for anything they're doing well. That was huge. So you're, you know, definitely creating the party atmosphere for other people that are watching. You want them to want to be a part of it. Okay, number 8. How am I doing on time? Okay, number 8, inviting daily. I kind of talked about that, but as I definitely set the goal I wanted to leave my job, I knew I had to definitely be adding to my team a lot more. So, you know, I tell my coaches that are definitely coming in and they want to build that they have to set a goal of, signing 3 to 4 coaches a month. If they kind of freak on me about that, then I'm like, hey, then make it 1 or 2. But, the more you're adding, obviously the closer you're going to get to the goals that you are setting for yourself. So once I kind of got over that fear as well, I started doing that more consistently as well. So, adding consistently to your team every month and helping them plug right into that system. All right, number 9, one of the things that definitely helped me as well as I started building, I definitely took advantage of having professional pictures taken. You've got those to use for pictures on your page. Take advantage of all the awesome apps that are on there. I was looking on Pinterest just to get ideas and be motivated by things that I could be doing. But a big thing for me with doing a motivational type post every day, that was probably the biggest reason I stuck with it, is because so many people would message me and say, thank you so much for doing that every morning. I look for that post every morning before I go to work. So I'm like, okay, I obviously need to continue doing that. So I was always looking for new ideas. So having pictures taken, or even going out with the tripod and just finding like a park and take different pictures, because you want it to be you. It's got to be you. You can find all kinds of pictures on Pinterest, but people aren't going to relate to some strange person. They want to see that it's you in the pictures. And that was a huge step for me when I just really got over that fear and started doing that as well. And you want to make your pictures look really good. So I don't get a lot from Instagram, but I definitely get a lot of motivation from Instagram and ideas. But definitely, those pictures that look inviting, people are going to stop and look at. So definitely get some ideas too from there. And number 10, every single month, even when my kids were sick, when I was tired because I was up with a newborn baby, my husband's super busy, it didn't matter. Every single month, I was running a challenge group, and I was doing all of these things I needed to do to move forward. I remember that first year of Griffin being a baby, and I was so tired, but I remember holding him, sleeping in a recliner, and working on my phone over here, in the middle of the night. It didn't matter. I was able to do that, but I moved forward in my business so much during that time. It was crazy. So I just always tell everyone, don't let, things going on in your life hold you back, because putting in that time definitely has paid off so much. I'm getting to do what I want to do now every day. We get to decide how we spend our day. We get to take vacations when we want to take vacations. We're getting ready to leave next week for our family vacation, and be gone for a long time. And before we would never been able to do that. Being able to pay down our debt and think of things that we want to do for our future. All of that is possible now because of the things that I put in daily and didn't make excuses for them. So doing your challenge groups every month. I do some type of free group to help people get started and see what I'm doing. I run a coach training every single month. Even if I didn't have a new coach, I'm still going to run a coach training for my coaches who have signed coaches. So I definitely took that definite leadership role and stepped out of my comfort zone big time with that. But being able to, like I said, leave my job and do this full time and love what I'm doing and be excited and happy about how I'm spending my day is so huge and so worth every second of sleep I missed. I missed a lot of sleep during that last year of teaching. But that is all I have, Raina. If there's anything else you wanted me to cover or hit, or if you have questions or anything.
Okay, I think I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, get this. Hold on. I'm back. I listened to all of it too, I swear. I was like, shut up. I loved it. So there's a couple people that have a couple questions, if that's okay.
Okay, sure.
Okay, let me get back to it here. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, it's chaos over here. Besides the new coach training, are there any videos that you highly recommend for your new coaches to watch to get their business moving forward and faster?
Oh my gosh, I'm like a YouTube crazy lady. Like anything that I wanted to find an answer to, I just went in and found it. I mean, oh my gosh, that's like the awesome thing. Like coaches are so awesome in this business. They share everything. I mean, obviously everybody loves Caleb Thomas. I mean, but I don't think I have really any certain ones that stick out. But that's what I tell my team. You've got to take that step and definitely go find what you need help on. But YouTube is definitely a huge way that I found answers to so many things.
Yeah, I agree. And Coach Caleb has like a video for everything you could probably think of. So
absolutely.
Another question, what about her like page did well for her? How did she add to her network through her like page, and did you run ads?
Yes, I did start running ads. A big thing that definitely created a bigger following for me is having my fitness studio, and I started putting a lot more videos on there, which was definitely taking me out of the comfort zone, but it was something I love doing. I'm like, why would I not share that I do this? So videos are huge on like pages. That did really well for me. Ads that I ran, definitely for like my new coaches. I ran an ad for that all the time. I'm always running an ad to get more likes as well. And then I usually go through my new likes, and because obviously if you send a message, it goes to the other lovely folder and all that. So I'll usually look through those people, check out about maybe 10 a week, and send messages to them. But that definitely is how I definitely got in the flow of continuously bringing new people in and more followers on that as well. But yeah, it took some time because I totally started my like page early, and then when things like kind of stopped, like when Shalene Johnson said she like walked away from Facebook, it did. Like everybody's like page just went to like nothing. So I stopped. I didn't even use it. And then I remember everybody was kind of like starting to pick it back up when all the ads and everything started. So it took me some time, but it was just being consistent again with it. And then once it just picked up, then it's been good.
Yeah. Okay. I have 2 more questions and I'll cut it off.
Sure.
What do you put? Oh, 3 more questions. What do you put in your free group? Do you actually get people who are doing challenge groups after they're in it? You don't have to make your script or anything like that, but.
Oh, so like what type of free groups?
I guess, yeah.
Most of our free groups we do are just like a clean eating. I have like I'm getting ready to do next week, and I can send that to you too. It's just like I think I called it like a bikini shredder meal plan type thing, and I just put in like a daily exercise that they can do just to get them kind of used to what a challenge group is. I do have them sign up for a free account too to do mine. I know not everybody does that, but I kind of feel like if they're going to do something with me, I want to be able to stay in contact with them to get them to understand they can move on. I do a video at the end of all of my free groups too, so they know they've got an option to move on, or they can wait and do another free group the next month. I mean, whatever is going to help somebody get started somehow, some way, I'm going to do.
I love it. How do you find coaches that are ready to work the business, not just discount coaches? Story of life.
I think for me, it was definitely when I started having success. And being able to share that. When I quit my job, I definitely broadcasted that all over the place. I mean, that was huge to be able to, especially here in a small town, that doesn't happen very often. Somebody's leaving their job to get a work at home and probably make more money than everybody here. So I shared that, and my husband was kind of like, should we like share all that? I'm like, of course. Yeah. Why would I not? Why would I not let people know that this opportunity is something they could do too?
Yeah.
So when I definitely started having success, I think that made more people that had been following me finally say, okay, maybe I need to look at this a little more.
Just being able to share what the business has done for you, even the little things in the beginning. Yeah.
Little things. Oh, yeah. I mean, my little things I shared at the beginning were like going to get gas and not freaking out because I had to stop at a certain amount because I didn't have money in my account. Like, it was so nice to go and get gas and walk away. So, you know, to share that at the beginning.
Remember those days? Yeah, I know. That's funny.
I lived that too.
Yeah. How long? Okay, somebody said, how long did it take you to go from your full-time working career to coaching full-time? And it was 1 year, right?
Yeah, when I totally like decided. I mean, I've been a coach for 5 years, but nowhere in my life did I think that I would be doing this full time. I mean, I just didn't have that self-confidence myself to see that that would be something for me. So it definitely was probably a year and a half of really focused and stepping out of my comfort zone and started doing the things I need to be doing to make it happen, for sure.
Yeah. I agree. Okay, let me check one more time and see if anyone else is.
Sure.
How do you handle working with coaches that are not self-starters? Last question.
Yeah, that's tough. I always tell my coaches, you know, everybody comes in at a different pace, and I tell them, if you want to run, I'm going to run with you. If you want to walk, I'll walk with you. But then I just am very honest with them, and I'll say, you know, the goals that you're telling me, if you're going to walk, it's going to take you a long time to get there. So I just usually tell them, you know, I was obviously a walker, I guess, you know, at the beginning, and I hate that I was now. I look back and I'm like, oh, why did I waste 2 years of this, you know, being scared? So crazy. You know, I should have jumped in and started doing things that, you know, that were there. I mean, there wasn't quite as much as there is now, but, you know, I still could have plugged into something. But I'm definitely telling them to plug into personal development. I mean, they have to. They're probably not a self-starter because they're like I was and lack confidence in themselves, most likely. So.
And just the fear of the unknown, I think, for sure.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I will let you go, and I appreciate you so much for being patient and for hopping on and sharing with the team and everything you've done. So I appreciate it very much. All right.
You are welcome. Thank you for sharing with us last night. Okay.
Yay. All right. Well, everybody have a good day, and feel free to message me if you do have questions, and I can message Jayme and whatever. We'll figure it out. All right. Everybody have a good day, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks.